What's going on, guys? I am Jay.
And I am Meredith.
And we are bringing you our first video in a new series called He Played, She Played. We both agreed on a game that we want to play, and we are taking a look at it. And that game this time is...
New Super Lucky's Tale.
Let's take a look. Alright guys, so on our first episode of He Played, She Played, yes, we are talking about New Super Lucky's Tale from Playful Studios. This released worldwide on the Nintendo Switch on November 8th, 2019. And this is a love letter to like every 1990s 3D platformer where you're going around and collecting stuff. So like Super Mario Bros. 64. Spyro, perfect example. So yeah, if you've played any game like that and you enjoy it, you are going to like New Super Lucky's Tale. Now, you know how our reviews work. We talk about the graphics, we talk about the sound, we talk about the gameplay, and then we talk about the aesthetics like the writing, the packaging, anything like that. So that is what we're going to go through with today. And I'm excited to have, for the second time on the show, my beautiful wife, Meredith.
Aww.
So thank you for being here. We're going to talk about a game that we both like to play. Now, the idea behind He Played, She Played was initially we were going to pick one game, and then we were both going to play it, and we're both going to talk about it, and that's what this is. But there is a slight twist that you will find in the outro video for the next one, where you guys get to decide what we are going to play next. So let's start, as we always do, with the graphics, with the look of the game. It is a super cartoony action platformer. I think that Lucky is one of the most adorable mascots probably ever. Like he's up there with Spyro and Luigi as being like just cute and adorable and want to pinch his cheeks. Like he's...
You know I do love me some Spyro.
I do. I do. That is one of your favorite game series.
But he is very cute. In fact, throughout the game, they kind of mention how he never stops grinning and is annoying them. So it's super cute.
Yeah, I really like the look of the game. I think that the character design on Lucky himself is really good. I like his little blue cape and his blue shoes. I also really dig that you're able to put him into different outfits. Mm-hmm. So you can do anything from having him dress up as a cop to...
Ooh, the wrestling guys. And he gets to wear the little top knot. I love it.
Yeah, there are wrestling yetis. They all have top knots and loincloths, and you can dress Lucky in the same way. There's also an Indiana Jones outfit, and you can buy the outfits of all of the bosses that you end up fighting in the game. So there's a lot going on there and a lot of neat little customization you can do, because you can mix and match the outfits. You can have Indiana Jones with a top knot or a cop in a loincloth. Like, who wouldn't want that? But the world design's really good too. So the different worlds all have a different theme. Like there's the first world is kind of just your generic fantasy theme. Like there's trees and grass and dirt, and it's pretty much everything you've ever seen before. But the second one involves my favorite characters, the worms, and we're going to talk about them again when we get to the sound section. But the look for the second stage is really neat. It's set up to be kind of like a farm, so you're going around and there's gigantic chickens that have had their brains zapped, and you have to free them and not get trampled by their giant eggs that are rolling down the conveyor belt.
Wormel-durble-dang.
We will talk about the Wormel-durble-dang when we get to the sound section. But yeah, I really enjoy the look of the game. I really enjoy the level design. Is there anything that really sticks out to you as far as the visuals go?
I like the way... Now, this is something that's kind of strange, but I like the way that the invisible coins are done. Like, you can barely see them. They're barely there. I think that's really well done. I love the bright colors. I like being able to change the costumes.
Yeah, I like all of those things as well. It's a very well-designed game. Playful did a very good job at creating something that is... While it is a love letter to old games, it's definitely standing on its own 2 feet as something unique. So from a sound perspective, and I'm actually going to defer to you a lot on this stuff because you're the musical one of the family. I'm kind of two minds on it personally. Like the music to me feels a little bit repetitive in each level. Like there's a theme for each one. Like again, I'm going to keep going back to the Worms level because that's my favorite one, where it's a very deliberate kind of like a slow twang in the background. And each level kind of feels the same. There doesn't feel to be anything unique per level to me. Now, am I just not noticing it, or?
No, there is a uniqueness to each level as far as the music. The music does differ in the levels, but I think it's smart of them to not have anything that stands out too much, because you don't want to take away from the gameplay. You want to add to it. So if you have something that's, like Persona 5 that you play, it's about the music. This game isn't about the music. This is just background noise. With that second level with the worms, The Soggy Boggy Boys?
Yep, Soggy Boggy Boys.
So the Soggy Boggy Boys are your typical jug band, right? And they have a lot of twang and they have a lot of fun, and I'm sure they're talking about making moonshine, and eating dirt because they're worms, whatever. But the music is really there to enhance your gameplay, but not take over your gameplay.
Now, where the game really shines from a sound perspective is the voices. And the voices are nonsense. Like straight up, right off the bat, like there's only one character in the game that talks, and that's Lucky, and he says, "Hey, come on," at the start of every level. That's it. That's like the only English that you're going to hear throughout the entire game. Other than the intro has some English with some voiceover kind of laying out what the story is going to be. Mm-hmm. But each hub world you go to has a particular race that lives there. And in the second one, again, we're going to keep talking about the worms because the worms are just magnificent. It is the most ridiculous version of a southern twang you have ever heard in your life, done with nonsense. Like, they were like, a hurgle-burgle flying! And it's just... it's ridiculous to experience and to listen to, but it's so hilarious and it's so funny. And then when you get to the next level with the wrestling Yetis, everyone's like, oh, they all sound like someone doing a bad impression of Hulk Hogan, doing a bad impression of The Rock, who's doing a bad impression of Steve Austin. Who's doing a bad impression of Hulk Hogan? Yeah, so it's this weird, like, awful impression triangle of death that these Yetis are doing. And it's just magnificent. Like, and they're so funny because they're half yelling, but they're very peaceful. Yes, they're. So everything is done in capital letters. Yes. Now, if we're talking about gameplay, the game is it's a 3D action platformer. If you've played one, you've kind of played them all. But where Lucky differs a little bit is where he does have some interesting powers. Like, most 3D platformers, you're going to get some kind of a flight mechanic or something like that. And Lucky does have the ability to do a double jump, which is great. But what Lucky does, I think that is really awesome, is dig underground. Mm-hmm. And I know you love the digging. It's fun. His little tail sticks out, and that's all that you see. And then a mound of dirt, and he can go pretty much anywhere that there is dirt or grass. Now, you can use that digging for not only going underground, just for the sake of going underground and seeing a cute little foxtail flash around on top of it, but you can actually also dig up coins that are underground. You can get into some hidden areas by going underneath, like, fences that are a little bit off the ground, things like that. Yep, and you can also use it to stun enemies, flip them over, and then jump on them. I haven't tried that. You haven't tried that? No. Oh, it's awesome. It's great. Yeah, no, there's actually, in the Yeti level, there's one of the first ones you go into, there's these little bomb beetles that if they run into you, they'll explode. And the way you get around it is you burrow underneath and you pop up underneath them, which flips them over, then you jump on their tummy and they're done. Well, that's the level I'm on right now, so thanks for that. There you go. No problem. So neither one of us have beaten the game yet. We are reviewing a game that we haven't gotten completely all the way through yet, but it's something that we're having a lot of fun with and something that I think we can make an educated assumption on based on what we go. Now, one of the other things I really like about this game from a gameplay perspective is that there's variety in each level. So it's not just 3D platforming. There's actually 2D levels as well, which I think is really neat, which is like your traditional like a 3D like a 2D Mario level where there's platforms to jump on and bounce pads to get you up higher in the level. Those are also the levels that I die the most in. I went through 12 lives in one of those levels. Thank you very much. You did great. Yeah, great. You're great at dying. Well, hey, look, I didn't say what you were great at. I just said you were great. There's also some really neat puzzle elements in the game as well. There's hidden sheets that you have to get. You're trying to repair it for you. If you don't know, you're trying to put a storybook back together to find your family who got sucked into the storybook. So you have to collect pages. Right, and the pages, they get a certain number of pages and they open portals, which helps you get to where your family is. Yep. And you get certain pages, and then you're going to be able to get to the bosses, which you can advance through the game. So the pages are kind of like the key to the entire situation. But there are certain pages you have to collect in each hub world that you have to complete puzzles to get. And the puzzles are really neat. They're kind of slide puzzles and kind of not. They're kind of like slide puzzles. There's a similar mechanic in Skylanders. Yeah, there is, isn't there? With little blobs that have to go through, and it's Labyrinth. It's similar to that in the Skylanders one, and this is similar to the Skylanders one, without the tilt mechanic. Just without the tilt mechanic. That's a good point. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Oh, there actually is a tilt maze in this one, too. Oh, is there? In the first level, the cat comes up and... That's right, there is. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, but so there's a lot of different variety of the gameplay in this, and the enemies are all really well designed. Like there's a variety of attacks for the different enemies. There's like giant flowers that will try to squash you, and then
they face plant.
They do.
They face plant on you, and then if you bounce on the back of their head, then they kind of explode, which took me a couple levels to figure that out because I just kept trying to tail swipe them to death, and it took forever to kill them.
Another one you can burrow underneath and pop up underneath on them.
Oh, does it hurt you?
It'll make them stand up and kind of wave back and forth like they're drunk. And then you can go over and tail swipe them and then they're done.
That's excellent.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a really, really fun game to play. It's nice because I know you've had a bit of a different experience with the 12 life levels.
Oh my god.
But to me, it's a fun game to be able to pick up and play one level and then put it down for a little while. I don't feel the need that I have to keep playing or I have to keep, exerting a ridiculous amount of brain power towards it.
And whereas I'm very different with this type of game is once I complete one level, I want to see what the next one is so I can work on that. And then once I'm in there, I need to complete it. And then when I complete it, I need to see what the next one is. So it's a binge game for me.
Yeah, she beat the Spyro Reignited trilogy in like 6 days. And you 100%.
And I 100% pretty much every game that I play.
Yeah.
And I haven't 100%ed level 2 because of the fact that I wasted 12 of my lives on one of the... Yeah, anyway.
So yeah, that's the type of gamer she is, and I'm the one with ADHD. So I don't pay attention. I am notorious for coming back to games years later and being like, where the hell am I? What am I? Okay.
You cursed.
Hell's not a curse. That's a Diet Coke curse.
Oh, heck.
Oh, spite. Out damn
I
spot.
wish I could say that Dresden line right now, but there is a curse word in that one.
So the last thing we talk about are the aesthetics, and in previous reviews, the aesthetics have included things like the packaging, the things that are packed in and included. I will say, for New Super Lucky's Tale in particular, I give the packaging an A+, simply because when I bought the game, I bought it used from GameStop, and I got one of the really crappy printout covers that just said New Super Lucky's Tale on it. And then a few months later, actually probably about 6 or 7 months later, we were at the store, and the manager at the store was cool enough to let me swap out the printout cover for the real cover.
That is not normal.
No.
We just happen to be friends with him.
Yes. And yeah, he took care of us. It's amazing what happens when you're nice to your GameStop employees and the GameStop management. They will watch your back and help you out.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
And if you bring them water bottles on Black Friday, they'll love you even more.
Yes, water bottles and donuts. That's what I usually did. Other things about the game I really appreciate from an aesthetic perspective. The writing is hilarious. Meridith was talking about the Yetis that talk in all caps. Everything they talk about in that level is a mashup of like Zen Buddhism and wrestling promos.
It really is.
So everything is like, you gotta find your inner peace, brother, and it's hilarious. And then of course there's the worms again. We're gonna keep talking about the
Hot
worms.
dang y'all, I swear.
Yeah,
in worm.
It is. Yeah, it's if you can imagine what a worm would sound like if it was doing a terrible Paula Deen impression, that's what it would be.
She's too Georgia Peach. You need to be like Deep Woods, Tennessee, or Kentucky.
That's
for these
yeah,
worms.
yeah. These guys are brewing moonshine out of their bathtub and drinking it out of a boot. That's true. And then like all of the bosses, like Mittens and Tess, and then General Puffin Stuff or whatever his name is in the third one.
Remember.
There's a Napoleon cat who has a gigantic fluffball cat that he rides upon.
Are they twins?
They might be twins.
They're supposed to
be
be twins, I think. And then when he...
Oh, it's like Danny DeVito and
Arnold Schwarzenegger, yeah.
And all of them are written like the worst, the worst, in the best possible way, the worst B-movie villains.
Oh, they're excellent.
Yeah, they're just wonderful. But we do both have a fan theory here. Since we haven't beaten the game yet, there is a character in the game, he's a little mailman golem. And he kind of disturbs us a little bit.
He's super creepy. He's like that friend in middle school that wouldn't leave you alone. That's what he is. He follows you around and tells you how much he loves you. And, he hopes that you never split apart, like the backstory. The two friends split and one became the major villain. And how, like, if you want to go see the Soggy Boggy Boys, then he'll get us tickets. And, how everything is magical and you can follow your dreams. And
then there's all the male puns. Yeah, the male puns are there. He's a lot. So our theory, to get back to it, is because he knows so much about Lucky and the missing bits of his family and how they were just bamfed out of existence, we're pretty sure he's the main villain.
Yeah.
Or he's the secret bad guy of the entire... Like, if you collect all of the pages and all of the...
It's actually going to get him to the end portal is what I think.
Yeah.
Or the other thing is that all these other golems that you don't really talk a lot to, but are there... Oh, and I have another part too. Anyway, the little golems that are just kind of there, I think might be like spirits that are trapped, or like his family that are somehow trapped in these little stone golem things. Golems. My other thing is, in each of the main hubs in each level, you see that little purple golem who's kind of grumpy, and he's like, I'm just a regular golem, go away. And then he starts talking. By the time you get to the third world, he's like, that's the guy who tells you they're twins and how you stick with your family. And like, the more you talk to him, the more it's like, I don't actually think you're a bad guy. Like, even though he's supposed to be portrayed that way because he's like got glowing purple eyes instead of the blue eyes. And so he looks scarier, but I think it's a bait and switch sort of thing.
All right.
So I think the mailman's the bad guy and the bad-looking golem is the good guy.
Well, stay tuned, because we will do a follow-up on the family escapades of the golems.
We will tell you how wrong we are.
All right, guys, so that is our thoughts on the game. So just a quick final thought, Meredith. Do you think for today's games that are out right now, at the current price that New Super Lucky's Tale sells at, which is usually around $35 used, $40 new, do you think it is worth picking up?
Absolutely. I think for any age, it's a great buy. I think if Victor, our 11-year-old, were to sit down and play it, he would have a lot of fun with it. If you like the 3D platformers, absolutely. The 2D platformers, if you're not me, absolutely. If you don't mind losing 12 lives, absolutely. It's a lot of fun because there's so many different elements, and the amount of hours you can spend just going through everything, it's absolutely worth it.
I wholeheartedly agree. I wanted to get the game when I first heard about it, and I think it's absolutely wonderful. And if you do not want it on the Switch, if you are like an Xbox gamer, you can get it on Game Pass right now.
So do I recommend this game? Absolutely.
All right, guys, so our final thoughts on New Super Lucky's Tale. Meredith, what did you like the most about the game?
Being able to dig my little fox character all around.
Yeah?
I thought that was fun. It's really cute. I love the bright colors and how much adventure you get to have, and the puzzles, of course.
Yeah, I think the puzzles are great. I really like the game quite a bit. I think it's a nice addition to a really solid series of 3D action platformers that the Switch has brought in. Guys, if you enjoy this video, please do let us know in the comments down below. But while you're down there, let us know which of the 2 games we have chosen for our next one you would want us to take a look at. Meredith, what did you choose?
I am going to choose Assassin's Creed Odyssey because it is still an adventure game. From what I've seen of it, it's beautiful. It's got a really neat story, and I'm interested in it, but it's a little outside my normal wheelhouse of cartoony adventure games.
And I have chosen The Witcher 3 for Switch. This is a game I've played a little bit of, not a ton of yet, but I'm actually enjoying it on the Switch. I didn't get into it on the PS4 or the Xbox One, but I'm really liking it on the Switch. And I know this is one you were interested in trying out as well.
Yep.
So you guys, do let us know in the comments down below which one you think we should try next. Whatever one wins is what we'll do for our next video next month. Be sure to like the video down below by giving it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and be sure to share it on social media with your friends if you think they will dig the nonsense that we participate in here on Square Pegs. Also, if you find yourself on this video haven't subscribed yet, please be sure to subscribe down below, and while you're there, ring the notification bell so you can stay up to date with everything we've got going on. Until next time, guys, I have been Jay.
And I've been Meredith.
Make sure you play more games,
stay square,
and take care. We'll talk to you soon.